Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here today. Really appreciate it. Tell your friends about EST, Edmonton Sports Talk, what we're building. We got two guys in goalie coming up here at noon today with myself, Cass, and Gager. And then, of course, at 1 o'clock, EST afternoons with Gager and Hernan. And then the Reed Wilkins show today. Reed was a great guest, actually, on the Nielson show this morning. But he is actually technically on vacation. It'll be a Wannick and Glue Guy. I know they're already over in the bullpen there. Getting ready for the show today. So it'll be a good one. And then, of course, that'll lead into the Oilers and the Sharks tonight. A little bit of a later start. GCLD's a pregame show. We'll get going around 7:30 tonight. Postgame to follow as well. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Of course, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can chime in over there as well. It looks like the guys on the hangout, we're talking about NCAA. That's always nice to see. YouTube Trev flying high after beating me in 21 today. 4 consecutive shots to finish me off. After I was up comfortably 17-13, I think. I had sunk 3 in a row, and then I tried to reverse dunk on a rebound, missed it. Trev got the ball, hit 4 in a row, and beat me 21-17. Trev, that was the biggest botched game I think I've ever had. All I had to do was grab that rebound, put it up. I would have been at 18, probably would have finished you off. I totally screwed that game up.
How the tables have turned, Dusty. Yeah, no.
Who are you, the bookbiter?
Yeah. No, that was okay. That would have been legendary. We would have talked to that. Could have been a moment of the year, behind the scenes moment.
Behind the scenes moment of the year. Yeah, well,
because I have never seen like the man, that would have been so.
If I could have thrown down the reverse rebound dunk, it would have been pretty sick.
The trickle down effect that happened from that little moment. 4 straight 2s. To get the job done. My first.
I don't think you've ever hit 4 straight 2s against me.
I started the game once.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I shot 5.
Yeah.
I was up 9-0.
Anyway, tough loss to take, but then I got to play Hernan and Tecmo, and I beat him pretty good. So I'm feeling okay about myself today.
You're feeling really good about that.
Confidence levels at a pretty good high. Big Uke says Chicago is on suspension for the remainder of the season, and I'm thinking 3-month suspension into next year. Penner's Pancake says the stupid Avs screwed up the parlay last night. Let's bring in Huss today. Huss, how you doing, my man?
I mean, the Blackhawks. I can't.
And then they can't even hang on for the win. Like, you're going to ruin things, and then you still just blow it anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
it was. I went out and I was watching all the games last night. By the way, we'll get to this in a minute. The Canes Caps game got nasty. Completely out of hand in the third period. We can talk about that. We weren't on that game. Although I was interesting that the Canes, against the number 1 team in the league, were minus 213 favorites at home. The bookies knew what was up there because that game was not close.
Sometimes they just get it, don't they? Sometimes the bookies are just like, yeah, we know exactly what's going down here.
Second in a back-to-backs, Ovi got his goal, and they got smoked. But, man, I'm watching this game, and, the Avs have a power play. Chicago goes down and scores shorthanded. I'm like, what is going on? And we know how good Colorado is, which made it that much more frustrating. The fact that we might have to see this team, and I guarantee you they won't have any performances like last night coming up in the first or the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
So it was just so bloody frustrating. But for the fact that this team, our nemesis, the Chicago Blackhawks, to do it again, and then, to your point, not even win the damn game.
No, like they didn't even help themselves.
It's just
ridiculous.
Oh, my God. So frustrating. But back at it tonight. We've got a big slate of games. Jets are in action. Oilers in action. We got EST. We got a WST parlay for the games tonight. And not quite the massive, like we've had like 13, 14, 15 games.
Yeah, the 9-gamer isn't as big as sometimes what we see. Hey, I was just like, oh, how many games? I just count them. I'm like 9. Huh. That's kind of light for a Thursday night. But
well, the good thing is, though, that I think that's going to mean we don't have like one game on Friday. Like, what do we have tomorrow? We've got 3. And
huge Saturday, I guess, incoming.
None of them very particularly. I guess.
What are the 3 games on Friday, Huss? Give me the 3 games on Friday.
Canes at Red Wings, Blackhawks at Capitals, and Wild Islanders. And the Wild obviously battling for their 7-8 with St. Louis, and the Islanders still on the outside looking in. Did you guys talk about the Chatfield thing on the show this morning? Bruce
Boudreau brought it up. I saw there's going to be no supplemental hearing or anything, eh?
I'm surprised. I like that is so dirty and so dangerous. Now, I was just talking to Lawless. And I mean, I would say that, you could deliver some sort of a match penalty for, attempt to injure. Like, that's a straight up UFC move.
That is.
Like, what would happen if a guy kneed a guy or kicked a guy in the balls? What would happen if a guy eye gouged a guy in a fight? Like, I get it. Fighting by definition, and this is why it is such a weird conversation to be having, but fighting by definition is trying to injure an opponent, right? I mean, you're punching a guy in the face. Like, what else are you doing? But that play last night, I mean, to a guy without a helmet, to stick the leg out and full-fledged hip drop, I mean, that was borderline choke slam. Like, it's amazing.
It's a ridiculous play.
It's amazing that his head didn't hit the ice. And like, I know there's some people like, I saw Speck today. I mean, and I feel so good if I'm on the other side of that take. He's telling Ken Campbell to go watch tennis or something. I mean, oh my God. Like, do we want to normalize that? Like, okay, whatever. That's just part of fighting. I mean, you get in a situation where the guy's grabbing you. Yeah, you know what? Do a judo move on him. Put him head first into the ice. Like, I guarantee you, there is a small difference from what happened and what could have happened. And if what could have happened did, we're talking about a guy in a hospital. We're talking about a guy with a broken skull.
Yeah,
we're talking about a guy
not because of from a punch in a fight. Because of a dirty ass move in a fight. I mean,
I was shocked that they didn't at least have a hearing or something just to say, "Hey, wait a second, guys,
don't do that again."
Like this, we cannot be green lighting this sort of stuff. Now, I know that game was heated. I mean, the Tom Wilson show last night was absurd. He goes and whacks Aho with a pretty good cross check in the back. And God love him, Logan Stankoven, all 5'6", 5'7" of them, goes in and gives Wilson one in the back. And like, Wilson does not care that he is 160 pounds.
No.
Like, he was going gloves off, like he wanted to beat the crap out of Logan Stankoven. And the refs got in there, and then he's pointing at him. He's doing the thing as he's getting kicked out of the game. And then, of course, he was gone. The Canes were incensed. Rod Brindamore has a great collection of psycho faces on the bench. It was the best of last night through that third period. I mean, we had that game on one of the TVs, and I was kind of watching Rangers Wild. I was watching Leafs Panthers, which were sort of the important games on the slate, and we couldn't take our eyes off this Carolina game. Obviously, Ovi got his goal. He's one more closer to Gretzky. But there was some real nonsense at it. And I'd be interested to see people in the chat. Just like, do you think that what happened last night, should he have been suspended for a game or two? Should they have done something like that? Or is that just, hey, anything goes, you're fighting, guys? I mean, do what you got to do.
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't have a chat with the guy. Like, why would you not have a hearing and just be like, hey, let's talk about what happened here? Like, even, I mean, I know hockey fighting isn't technically a hockey play, but within hockey fighting, I think there are lines that you can cross. And grabbing a guy and putting your leg behind him and swinging him around is just like, well, let me say this, Huss. Have you ever seen that before in an NHL fight? Somebody pull that move. I can't remember.
I haven't.
You know why? Because you don't do that in a hockey fight. Like, it was a piece of shit cheap move. Simple as that. He's lucky McMichael didn't smash his head on the ice. Like, I don't know why the NHL would just look over that one. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
Here's another question. What would have happened? I mean, obviously Chatfield was bigger and stronger than, and I mean, we're talking about Chatfield fighting Connor
McMichael.
I was going to say McLennan. Connor McMichael, who's like almost got 30 goals, I think, on the season. I don't think he's a big fighter. So, I mean, it probably was a bit of a mismatch to begin with, which is part of the reason why he was sort of hanging on for dear life. But I mean, if that's okay, what would have happened if he picked him up, turned him around, and did a tombstone pile driver? I mean, is it still? I mean, that to me is the same sort of thing that he did last night with that play, and equally dangerous. So that blew my mind that they weren't going to do anything on that. And like, I don't know what message it says, but I mean, we're starting to get into this point of the season where, teams really hate each other. We've got playoffs coming up right now. And for that to happen 2 weeks before the playoffs on as dangerous a play as you were going to see in the NHL maybe this year, and to just say no supplemental discipline was a wild move for me. And I think they whiffed on that one. And I hope that we don't see more BS like that as we get into the Stanley Cup playoffs, because it frankly is incredible that McMichael wasn't seriously hurt on that play.
Likely second round matchup, 2 incoming there with Washington and Carolina. So the bad blood.
I think they've got another game too. Let me just
check. They play again? Oh boy.
Again. I think they play again at the end of the season. Let's see here. Next Thursday.
Okay.
Next Thursday in Washington. Okay. So, you can imagine how pissed off the Caps were.
Well, I have a feeling Tommy Wilson's going to have something to say to Chatfield next Thursday.
And let's not forget about Dylan McIlrath. Yeah. All 6-7 of him. Yeah. By the way, did you see that fight with him and Jeffrey Viel?
I watched that fight, like the marathon. Yeah, I saw that one. You know what? Bruce Boudreau made a good point today. We were talking about, he goes, Carolina doesn't want to play that type of game with the Washington Capitals. He's like, they're not big enough, tough enough to play that type of game with the Washington Capitals. You know what I mean? Like, so we'll see. You said you also had eyes on the Leafs and Panthers last night, Huss.
Yeah. Because they were part of the part. That was the first leg. So,
yeah.
I mean, listen, the Panthers had no Tkachuk, no Barkov, no Ekblad. I mean, that's not the finished product team. And to be honest, I mean, for a team that was playing on back-to-back nights, it was playing third and fourth, it was decimated. I mean, the Leafs had to really, really work for it. They were up 3-1 in the third period. The Panthers scored, and it was a bit of a fire drill there in the final 90 seconds. But hey, good on the Leafs. I wanted them to win not only because of our parlay, but I think that if you don't have any skin in the game, we're here in the West. I'm worried about the Jets holding on to first in the Central, and having Dallas and Colorado play in, and the Oiler fans are, let's try and get home ice at minimum. Against the Los Angeles Kings in the first round. Just as a fan looking over to the East, I mean, could it be any better than Toronto, Ottawa in the first round and Florida, Tampa? I mean, all four of those teams hate each other. Like, to get Brady Tkachuk in the Battle of Ontario.
Yeah. He's made for that.
Just think about that.
Like that, he's made for that.
Listen, I might bet if it comes down to that, I might be betting Ottawa on that series.
Just because of Brady Tkachuk.
Well, first of all, the Leafs can't beat Ottawa. Ottawa's beat them, I believe, every time they played this season, much like Buffalo beats Ottawa every time they play. And when you think about like these series, there's so much that goes into them, and there's momentum, and I truly believe that those teams with the greatest emotional leaders that drag their team in, like, they'll do better overall in the playoffs. Sometimes a team's just better and it doesn't matter. I don't know if the Leafs are just way better than the Sens are, to be honest. And I think of what Brady Tkachuk's going to be doing as a captain with his team as an underdog playing in the playoffs for the first time against a Leaf team that has a closet full of playoff ghosts. Like, who's the emotional leader of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Matthews, Marner, Tavares. Nylander. I mean, those guys they're not that guy.
That's a great question. I wonder who that is in that room. Like, who is that guy? Leafs, if they're Leafs fans, Jake, whoever, I mean, Leafs fans, let us know. Like, that's a good question, Huss. We shouldn't be asking it this many years into that core being together. I know Tavares has been playing great as of late. But yeah, who is the emotional leader of the Toronto Maple Leafs? I would love to know the answer to that. I'm not trying to be pricks here asking. We're curious. Like, who is the one? Because I know what you're saying on the other side. We know who's the emotional leader that's dragging the Ottawa Senators into the fight, undoubtedly.
And he's dragging every single player along with him. And I think that's because, I mean, listen, talent-wise, the Leafs are as good as maybe any team in the league. I mean, they have incredible high-end talent. And I think it's better than Ottawa's, although I think Ottawa's really come around and they're a legit team, a legit playoff team. I mean, it would just be so much fun to get that rivalry going again. But I think part of the reason why is they don't really have that guy is why they went and got Craig Berube to be their head coach. And Sheldon Keefe has a lot of that. I mean, Sheldon Keefe does have a lot of that, and I think it worked for a while. But now looking at, this team, I mean, and listen, I think they'd hope that it's our captain. It's Austin Matthews. I mean, he does it sort of in a little bit of a different way. And obviously, when it comes to the physicality that's the playoffs, Brady Tkachuk's got something that none of the stars on the Leafs have. And, that's going to be a big part of it. So I'm pulling for the Leafs to win this division. I was pumped that they won that game last night. And listen, on the other side of things, Florida, Tampa, we've seen these teams play before. The series are always great. Either of those teams could absolutely win the Stanley Cup, much like whoever's going to play in the 2-3 series in the Central. I think you could say that. And one of them is going to be out in the first round. So we've certainly got a lot going on as we get into these final games. I mean, I still think the regular season should be 70 games. They're never going to do it because there's too much money at stake and involved.
Yeah, that would be a big cut.
But if we're going to 82, like we're getting to these last 7-8 games for all these teams, and for the majority of teams that even are in the playoffs, there are still things to battle for when it comes to who that playoff matchup is, who's getting home ice, and maybe winning a few games and avoiding a better opponent.
Also NHL last night, and we'll get to the slate tonight. Obviously, the 9 games that we did talk about. We'll have to take a look at the Valero Texas Open leaderboard as well. But Alexander Ovechkin, in the most Alexander Ovechkin fashion ever last night. Hey, us just rocket, hammer it home. Yep. 3 away from the record, 2 away from tying. Undoubtedly happening at some point over the next 7 games. And I still find it absolutely fascinating that there's a chance he does it in the exact same amount of games as Gretzky does it in. Like, the fact that they are this close. Did you see this?
I have not been following that.
So he has 2 fewer games played than Gretzky did. When he like in his time. So there's a chance if he gets 3 goals in the next 2 games, they both scored 894 goals in the exact same number of games, which is just to me that's insane that we're talking over 1,800 games and it's that close. It just blows my mind that they're within a couple of games right now.
Now, so he needs 3 to break the record?
A hat trick will set a new record.
Okay, so let's get this schedule out here now for the Capitals. Washington, where's Washington? Schedule. Needing 3 goals. Their next goal is at home against the next game is at home against the Blackhawks.
No.
I mean,
not impossible.
One there.
Not impossible.
Listen, I'm liking this. Schedule. So then it's at the Islanders on Sunday and home to Carolina on Thursday, which is that game we just talked about. So if he can tie the record over the course of these next 2 games, we then get to the following weekend at Columbus on Saturday, home to Columbus on Sunday.
Plus 175 Columbus right now.
I got it at plus 500.
There you go.
Well, I mean, could you remember on the program, I mean, we basically did this exercise and we were going through when is this happening? And the reason why the Columbus number was a little lower than the others was because, like, not only did they have 2 games, but it was back-to-back right near the end of the season. So I am really pulling for a couple goals in these next 3 games, but not 3. And then we'll see Columbus. And again, I mean, the other. So what are the other odds on that? So Columbus is plus
Columbus is plus 175. The Islanders are 3-1. He will not score. He will not score 895. It's plus 325. It was the favorite for a long time. That has now moved a little bit further down. I think this is the first time we've seen it down there. Carolina plus 550. The Penguins on the final day of the season, plus 900. And the Blackhawks, and I remember what the number was yesterday on the Blackhawks, because when we looked at it, I was like, wow, that's way up there. It was plus 3,000. Now it's plus 1,750. And I am going to sprinkle it just because it'd be a hell of a story to say, yeah, I was on Ovi to get a hat trick that night, right? So
at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think we have to do that. Or essentially just bet Chicago. I mean,
yeah.
Damn. Like that's what that number will be. I wonder if that'll be a difference between, because essentially it's the exact same bet.
As a hat trick.
A hat trick or that. So sometimes we've seen Ovi, but I mean, against this team, and Spencer Knight played last night, so maybe they'll go to the backup for the game against Ovechkin. Would be pretty wild. But that goal though you mentioned scored, that was vintage Ovi.
It's just how he did. I would love to know, and I know it's out there.
4-0.
Yeah.
Down 4-0, taking advantage of a 5-on-3.
Still a hammer job. Still a hammer job. It's got to be out there. Like, how many of his goals were just on the power play from that spot? Like in that area. Let's put a big circle on the ice. I'd like to know the number on how many, because it's got to be at least 25% of them.
I was going to say higher, like 30, 35. I mean, overall, he has lived in that spot. We always talked about Gretzky's office behind the net. Ovi's office is right there in the shooting position on the right side of the goaltender, and nobody has done it better than Mr. Ovechkin.
The best goal scorer in the league this year, Draisaitl, likely the only one to hit 50. He's already there. With somebody, he's on the verge of scoring his 400th. So Draisaitl needs 10 more 50-goal seasons to take a run at whatever Ovi's record is going to end up being. Like, just put it in perspective like that. And Draisaitl himself has 450s already, but he would need 10 more 50-goal seasons to take a legitimate run at whatever Ovi ends up settling in at, which is pretty insane.
I'm just going to pull this up here. This is Ovi's goal totals. He came in at 05-06 and scored 52 as a rookie. These are the numbers: 46, 65, 56, 50, 32, 38, 32 in 48 games.
Yep.
I believe that 32, wasn't that when Dale Hunter came in and decided he was
he's going to change things. I think that's it. Yeah,
exactly. So then 13, 14, 51, 53, 50, 33, 49. That was the year they won the cup. 51, 48, 24 and 45, 50, 42, 31. And then this year he's got 39 goals in 59 games. Like, he missed.
Hey, with a broken leg, dude.
13 games.
Like, I think the most impressive part of his run, and I was looking at this earlier this morning because we're going to dive into it a little bit more on Two Guys and a Goalie coming up at noon here on Edmonton Sports Talk. From the beginning of the 2012-2013 season to the end of the 2018-2019 season, there were 5 50-goal seasons in that 6-year stretch. And Draisaitl had one of them, and Ovechkin had 4. And like, Ovechkin was scoring 50, nobody else was. Ovechkin scored 50 again, nobody else did. Ovechkin scored 50 again, nobody else did. Then Ovechkin scored 50, and then Draisaitl scored 50. The year after that, Matthews and Draisaitl and Kreider scored 50. Also, Ovechkin scored 50. Like, he just, at a time when 50-goal scorers kind of went by the wayside for 6-7 seasons, Ovi was still the one guy who was getting it, which I think is always, that's a good check mark on his resume of goal scoring.
Yeah, and I don't want to take, please don't take this as a shot at Wayne Gretzky, Edmontonians. I know he's been canceled everywhere else for whatever reason. I'm not one of those guys. But I will say, I don't think there's any question that the greatest goal scorer in NHL history is Ovechkin. And it's not because of whether he gets it in 2 less games or 2 more games. I mean, and Gretzky is the greatest player ever, that has the greatest career, all that. I mean, there's no doubt. It is so much harder to score. And if you look at the time, like the period of time that Ovechkin played in, even at a time where they refused to call penalties, and it was junkyard rules. And the goaltending is so much better now too. Now, granted, the equipment and whatnot,
the equipment's
is
better
the
too.
sticks are better. So I mean, I think that is a bit of a. But Gretzky was scoring insane numbers of goals. I mean, you also had Brett Hull scoring 86, and Jimmy Carson, didn't he have 70 goals in a year? I mean, it was commonplace for guys to put up ridiculous goal totals that just simply
it was Bernie
around
Nichols that had 70.
Oh, Nichols, yeah.
Bernie Nichols had 70 playing with Wayne. Wayne had 54 that year, but Bernie Nichols had 70. But Mario had 85. I looked at it, and this is one of the things that we're going to sort of discuss on which player's 894 goals is more impressive. And I mean, Gretzky was scoring beyond 50, but at a time where 8, 9 guys were scoring 50 in a year. Whereas we had just laid it out, Ovi was the only guy to score 50 over a 5-year stretch. So, it's different. I think the Ovechkin 894 when it gets there to me will be more impressive. But the tracking him down all time. I didn't think anybody would really do it. Ovechkin has, but nobody's touching the 92 that Wayne put up. There are still some that will never ever be caught.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. It's literally impossible in today's game.
Yeah.
I mean, now again, he played the game and saw the game at a different level. I mean, I'll always say that he has the greatest career of all time. I will still maintain that game, everything on the line, one game, if you're picking a player at the height of his powers, the best that he ever was to put out there, I'm taking Mario Lemieux at his best. But again, Lemieux had the injuries. He had Hodgkinson's. He just simply didn't play anywhere close to it. And for the majority of Gretzky's career, he was clearly the number 1 player in the league. I mean, listen, those are always fun conversations to have. Penner's Pancakes, though, in chat did mention, I would argue that if Mike Bossy would have stayed healthy, he would have been the NHL goal leader. And he was a 50-goal machine. But, for Gretzky, but especially Ovechkin, and I'm going to put Crosby into this category as well, which is, I mean, I think we are witnessing all-time greatness right now every single time these guys go out there. The fact that they both came in the 05-06 season, they're playing their 20th years. These guys are still amongst the best in the game. I heard Sidney Crosby's got the most primary assists in the NHL this year.
Does he really? I didn't even know that.
He just beat Gretzky's record for 20 straight point-per-game seasons. And it's really sad that he's not going to be in the playoffs and that team sucks so much. But listen, the Ovechkin story is incredible, and it coincides with the resurgence of that team. I don't know what your expectations for Washington were this year, but mine, I didn't even
wild cardish, like a wild card team, maybe.
I thought that they got in last year just because the rest of the East was so bad. And I mean, really, it was a snail's race to the playoffs, and they got in. They had a negative goal differential, if I recall correctly. And we were expecting, Detroit's going to be better, Ottawa's going to be better, Buffalo's going to be better. The Washington Capitals season is just going to be about getting Ovechkin his goals. Well, we couldn't have been more wrong. Spencer Carberry's for sure going to be a finalist for the Jack Adams Trophy. That's one trophy I would love to see odds for right now. And that's probably one of the most difficult ones to book. I don't believe it's up there. It's just right now. Oh, and the Hart Trophy goes even more towards Leon overnight, which is weird because neither team played.
Yeah, he's at minus 222 now. Man, that swings quite a bit.
Now, you know what? If you've been waiting to get in on Helly, this is the time to do it. Plus 150. I don't think you're going to get better than that. The weird thing is that trophy could absolutely be decided in the final 7 games of the year. I mean, if Draisaitl stays hot, I think the recency bias will be there. Although I still, like, if Hellebuck leads the league in wins, shutouts, goals against average, save percentage, I mean, if he doesn't win it, just say the goalies aren't allowed to win. Because, like, you know how many times that's been done in NHL history? 2. Jacques Plante and Bernie Perron. Hasn't been done since 84, 85.
Jeez.
Like Hasek.
Yeah.
How many MVPs did Hasek win? 3? He never did that.
I'm a little surprised that Leon's minus 222 right now. I know most of Edmonton.
I don't know what the hell happened last night.
Yeah, I don't know what happened last night that changed it either.
Either guy played.
But to me, with Hellebuck having the season he has, Leon's kind of got to win the Art Ross too, to sort of solidify that, hey, look, I got more goals than anybody. I got more points than everybody. I have more game winners than everybody. But it'd be tough to take a Hart Trophy away from Connor Hellebuck and give it to the guy who finished 3rd in points. You know what? Like, even though he's running away with the goals, and I think they're both valid candidates, with the season that Hellebuck's having, it'd be interesting to see if Draisaitl can get it if he finishes third in scoring. I mean, apparently the odds say he still could, but I don't know. I don't know where voters would come out on that.
I'm just trying to think. Last year, McKinnon won the Hart Trophy. Here's the voting. Pulling it up. So, like, Austin Matthews scored 69 goals last year and was not a finalist for the Hart. It was McKinnon, Kucherov, and McDavid. He had 69.
That's pretty impressive.
Like, short of 70.
He wasn't a finalist last year at 69 goals?
No, the voting. This is the voting right here. Nathan McKinnon won. He had 137 first place votes. Kucherov had 50. And then McDavid. McDavid only had 1 first place vote. Matthews did have 2 first place votes. But where Connor got him was way more third place votes. And again, it was very, very tight. It was very, very tight. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm fully admitting I'm not only am I biased, but I'm financially invested in Hellebuck futures from the program from November. So, but I guess I just say, like, I have heard some people, like Carlo Colivaco said, well, I'm not voting for him. There's a trophy for goalies. Okay, then just say that this award is for the most valuable forward, because there's a trophy for defensemen too. Do we disqualify Crail Makar and Quinn Hughes?
No, but there's trophies for forwards too. Like, a defenseman's not winning the Art Ross. That's a trophy for forwards. A defenseman's not leading the Rocket Richard. That's a trophy for forwards too. I think there's a trophy for goaltenders has to be the lamest take I've seen in quite some time. I mean, there's a trophy for every position. There's a trophy for every position. This one's a league MVP. There's a trophy for goalies take is the laziest possible freaking take that you can have when it comes to this conversation. I'm sorry. You might as well just say, I really don't care enough to look into it. So it's just going to be the out that I'm going to have. Like, that's just the truth. It just is. It's awful. It's a lazy, stupid take. It is. I mean, it's the league MVP. It's not the trophy for the best goalie. It's not the trophy for the player who had the most points. It's not the trophy for the best defenseman. It's the trophy for the player who is the most valuable to their team. And lots of time they don't even vote on that correctly. So the whole thing's frustrating.
Well, and the one thing I'll say about goalies, and I think we can all agree on this, is in reality, the goalies are always the MVP. Like, you show me a team with a terrible goalie, and I'll show you a team that performs far beyond what they're capable of. And you show me an average team with a world-class goalie, and they're probably going to be ahead of where they will be. Like, no single player, even when you've got the McDavids and the Draisaitl's and the Crosbys out there, will affect the game more than the goaltender, just by the nature of the position. So I kind of do get that you can't put it, because listen, if you wanted to put MVP almost every year, you could make, well, this guy was the most valuable to his team and the most valuable in his league because of all that he had to deal with. But there is a place to kind of recognize historic performances by players at positions that don't maybe normally get that sort of consideration. This year is that year. And listen, if Leon goes and scores 10 goals in the final 8 games or whatever, maybe he ices it. I would suggest that for the voters, they're going to look at where, like, if the Jets finish up, and again, this is a big if right now. I mean, they might not even win their division, which is so crazy, which is how good Dallas is right now. But they're still number 1 overall in the league. If they finish as the number 1 team and win the West and win the Central and win the President's Trophy, and Hellebuck runs the table on every single goaltending statistic, I just don't know how he would not win that award if people truly were evaluating who had the best season, who was the most valuable player. But it's a fun conversation to have, especially here, because the top 2 guys on the board are from the Edmonton Oilers and the Winnipeg Jets.
Great for our markets, great for EST, great for WST, no doubt about it. Let's get to the games tonight, and then we'll take a look at the leaderboard of the Valero Texas Open. A couple of our guys lurking around there. All right, so Habs and Bruins tonight. Big game for Montreal. Montembeault will get the start for the Habs. Swayman will go for the Bruins. Allmark will start for Ottawa at home against Tampa. Vasilevsky will go for the Lightning. Merzlikins will start for Columbus tonight at home against Colorado. Colorado in the second half of a back-to-back. You have to think it'll be Blackwood tonight. Ottinger and UC Saros unconfirmed in the Nashville-Dallas game. Tristan Jarry will go for Pittsburgh. Joel Holfer listed as likely for the St. Louis Blues. Vamelka will start for Utah. Kemper expected or unconfirmed at this point for the Los Angeles Kings. Dustin Wolf will start for Calgary. They're at home to the Ducks. The Jets and Golden Knights are in Vegas. Neither goaltender confirmed for that one. Calvin Pickard will start for the Edmonton Oilers, and Georgiev unconfirmed at this point for the San Jose Sharks. So not the 11-12 gamer that we do see sometimes on a Thursday night, but we do have 9 games to look at here, Huss. Lots of options. Where do you want to start as we put together a little parlay for the night?
Well, with the exception of the game, obviously the infamous Blackhawks once again screwing us. We saw the board pretty well last night. I mean, we had that cracking game against Vancouver. They were sort of done. I do wonder what Calgary has left coming home. Basically, I mean, that loss to, was it Utah 2 nights ago?
Yeah, it was Utah 3-1, I think.
That really, really did put a fork in them. Although there's just no quit in that team. I think I'd probably stay away from that game, or maybe lean on them to win. Geez, St. Louis continues to roll. They've got Pittsburgh. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't win again tonight. I mean, the Avalanche are on back-to-back nights. We saw their scare last night, and now they've got the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets absolutely have to have this win. And an interesting one, the Lightning and the Senators. Sens coming off 2 straight losses, 1-0 to Pittsburgh and 5-2 to the Buffalo Sabres. I don't know if I have a thought on that game. I'd like to take Ottawa in it, but I don't know whether I trust the Sens to bounce back the way that they have been. And then we've got Bruins and Canadians, and the Bruins are just simply done. However, I still don't entirely trust Montreal. I could totally see them sweeping the Panthers and then coming back home and getting got by Boston. Although they just, who's left in Boston to really do anything outside of pasta right now?
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is, and I was looking at this game a little bit earlier on, the Bruins have won 9 of their last 10 games against the Habs. They've owned the Habs. If the Habs were ever going to get a piece of Boston, man, it's got to be tonight with what they're fighting for. It's ridiculous. They have since April 24th, 2022. So 2 years, the Habs have beat the Bruins once. It was in overtime, not this past November, but the last November. So, I mean, if you buy into the theory, they're due, I guess you can add that in as well. Prior to the 2 wins against Florida, Montreal had lost 5 in a row. So, I do have faith in the Habs tonight, but -200 is a pretty big number.
Kings in Utah. It's just crazy. The Kings are 14, 19, and 5 away from home. They're 28, 4, and 4.
Yeah, they're amazing at home. I don't know. Like, I don't see why hockey teams would be so good at home. Like, it's almost the exact same thing. You know, like, yeah, you get to have last change, but like, how can you be that good at home and below 500 significantly on the road?
Just saying all that, I think I like the Kings in this game. They do have a lot to play for. We talked about that road record and that home record. And, as we look at the standings right now in the NHL, it's going to be Dallas. It's going to be LA. It's going to be Edmonton again. And LA's got the 2 points right now. So, they do have to keep winning if they want to get that. And listen, there's an outside chance that they could catch the Vegas Golden Knights. A Kings and the Jets win tonight would put them just 3 back of Vegas. And I'm sure, even with how hot St. Louis is, I'm sure they would like a different opponent than the Edmonton Oilers, who have been their nemesis in 7, in 6, and then in 5 games the last 3 playoffs. So I'm not going to get too scared by that road record of the.
I like the Kings tonight, buddy. I'd be 100% in on the Kings at -130. I like the Flames at home tonight against the Ducks too. They're coming back after a 3-game road trip.
Still feeling that they've got some
hope.
Like
might be false hope, but I think there could be some fight. Like, I don't think that Calgary Flames team rolls over because of the 3-1 loss to Utah. So I don't mind Calgary. You mentioned St. Louis earlier. It's -227. But into a parlay, it's not the end of the world. And then we got our 2 games. We got some exclusives up for those that we'll hit in a second. But who else do you like here? If we start with the Kings, where do we go from there?
Well, we throw the Flames on there.
Okay.
It gets us to +190. If we put the Blues on, we get it to +318.
We usually milk it for more, but I really like those 3 games. And we're going to get a boost on it.
What if we add the Oilers? The Oilers aren't going to lose to the Sharks tonight, right?
Famous last words, but no, they shouldn't. They got to have this one. And the Sharks, as Bruce Boudreau said on our show this morning, despite a delay because he was actually driving while doing a video hit with us, and there's a bit of a delay on it, he did say the Sharks stink. And the Oilers got to have this one, man. Like, the parlay, we loaded up on some pretty big points. If we were to throw the Oilers in, is just like there's no way they can blow the parlay play. It gets it to +464.
Yeah, I know we don't normally play 4 games, but I would argue that the Oilers and Blues, both as bigger favorites, kind of combine for one normal game. I think both of those teams should take care of business. And again, we're really looking at the Kings and the Flames as the toughest games to get over it. So listen, why don't we do it? Let's roll it, because we'll get it over 5-1, which is kind of our sweet spot there for the Lock Shop Partner Parlay. We go Kings, we go Flames, Blues, and add the Oilers at -286. We don't usually take -200s. We've got two of them on this card, yeah. But considering we take a +190 bet, which is Kings Flames, and turn it into over 5-1 simply by adding the Blues and Oilers, I'll take that chance every day.
Yeah, I agree. +464. Jake said he's just behind on the show, but he'll get that. So yeah, Jake, +464 pre-boost. Blues, Oilers, Flames, Kings on the money line. He also did send us a heat map of Ovi's goals, and kind of as expected, that far side there. So 11% of his goals right around the net. 27% of goals kind of in the low slot, 13% of goals in the high slot, 11% of goals from top of the circles to the blue line. I would love to see a breakdown of how many of those are just clappers from just inside the blue line. 17% of his goals from the right side, 20% of his goals from the left side over there, but it's not the zone I necessarily want. I kind of want from the blue line down to the goal line and about 3/4 of the way in the circle, because that number's got to be closer to 30, I would think.
Good stuff from Jake sending that over. Thanks there, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for finding it, Jake.
Don't take any offense to what I said about the Leafs losing to Ottawa earlier on. I was more talking about how great that series would be. But I am interested in Jake's response to like the emotional leader. Like, who is the Brady Tkachuk of the Toronto Maple Leafs right now? We'll see what he has to say on that. But
might get us an answer on that one.
Kings, Flames, Blues, Oilers. It's plus 464. We'll get it up on the other side of 5-1, and we'll get that up in the combo cards a little later on. We should just quickly hit our the exclusives for the.
Yeah, I've got them right here. It's almost the exact same number. Winnipeg Sports Talk plus 650. What do you got, Huss?
We're going with the Jets win, as we always do. Nikolai Ehlers to score, and Josh Morrissey to record a point. So 1+ goals for Ehlers, 1+ points for Morrissey, and the Jets to find a way to get to 2 points. That is in the exclusives at plus 650.
And the EST parlays plus 675. It's Oilers puck line minus 1.5. Draisaitl 2+ points. Bouchard 1+ assist. And Arvidsson with a point. So Draisaitl 2, Bouchard assist, Arvidsson point. Oilers on the puck line plus 675.
Love it.
How about this Valero Texas Open, Huss? Have you taken a peek at their leaderboard here?
I certainly have been. And, I think, I didn't get on Tony Finau this week.
Yeah, I think he just fell off by a stroke, didn't he? Because, he's at 3 under now.
He bogeyed a par 5. Wow. Yeah. Kashmir Keith Mitchell looking very, very good at the top of the leaderboard. He is 8 under through 15 holes.
Wow, what a round.
Noted slowpoke and lefty Brian Harmon has shot 66. He's 6 under. Tommy Fleetwood, who was on your card, I believe. That was
my guy, Tommy Fleetwood. This is the moment, right? This is his first one.
Tommy Fleets, he's 4 under. He's in at 68. And then at 3 under, we've got Sam Burns. We've got Tony. It's Hale Matasero and Taylor Dixon. 2 unders include Canadian Ben Silverman and Bud Cauley. That's good news. I know many of us jumped on the Pat Mayo boosted exclusive at plus 699, which was Bud Cauley top 20. And I have to refresh my memory. I've got it because I did bet it. The other guy that we're looking for is...
Was it Berger?
It probably was Berger. Yeah, it was Berger.
Okay, yeah. Thought it was Berger.
And then Berger was boosted up to 40-1 from 30-1 too in the exclusives.
He's even, but he just started. He's only through 1.
Okay, so he just teed off right now.
Just getting going.
Just looking at guys that have actually played much. Bo Hostler, Lanto Griffin, they're all in at 1 under right now. Justin Rosie, he's playing his 18th hole. He's 1 under right now. Other individuals that we're looking for. Cantlay was a popular pick this week by a lot of people. He's even. He's playing his 18th hole right now. Stephen Fisk, who I had Mayo on yesterday, he's like, if you're looking for a real long shot, look for Stephen Fisk at 250-1. He rolled out some reasons why. Good ball striker, can't putt, maybe some putts go in. Why not him? He's even through 11. And there's Berger. Berger just teed off right now. Other guys, this is where you don't want to see your player. I see Jake Knapp's 2 over. That's not great. Do we have Ben Griffin anywhere yet? These are okay. Ben Griffin, Charlie Hoffman still has to go off later on this afternoon. Keegan Bradley. And who did we have? We had Bradley and
Batia.
Akshay, yes.
And
I can tell you right now.
Who was it? Yeah, who was the third guy in the Batia, Bradley, and how come I'm blanking on this?
Right here, I've got it up. Corey Connors.
Oh yeah. Connors.
The Corey Connors Invitational.
Yeah, he was teeing off late, right?
Corey Connors is going off at 125.
Okay, so we still
as is
that.
Gary Woodland, who I added a little sprinkle.
You did have a little bit on Gary Woodland.
Big Gary Woodland guy. Like the fact that he's so good in the wind. I mean, he's from Wichita, Kansas. He's been playing in wind on dirt tracks his whole life. Hollywood Hoagie as well. 1:36 p.m. So so a lot of the guys that we're in on right now, Ludwig Oberg as well going out this afternoon, plus at 1:14, which is interesting because these guys will go in the afternoon today, which means they'll all be going early tomorrow. So when we get into the lock shop, we'll have a pretty good idea how the majority of our guys are shaping up when it comes to making the cut at least, and then moving on from there.
Huss, what's coming up in WST today, buddy? What do you got?
Well, it's Jets Vegas, which means my attention deficit challenged former partner Gary Lawless will join me on the program. I pre-taped with him earlier, but I'm cracking on him in that because he was in and out of the interview mentally, and then we ended up getting into it as we always do. It's pretty funny stuff. So that's coming up on the program. I hadn't talked to my guy Zeiss for a while, Mike Zeissberger from NHL.com. So he's going to be coming on. Brandon Wicki will be jumping on. We'll talk about the Jet game tonight. And Remo's out getting loose at a bachelor party for the next couple days.
What?
So Connor Rabchak's going to be jumping in with me. So Connor and I will kick things off, and then we'll and we should, because it's a later game. Like, I think the Jets are only scheduled to jump on the ice like in the next half hour for their morning skate. So later on in the program, just before we get to the Coolbet lines, and go over, the latest line movements and everything happening in the NHL tonight. We should have coach's comments from Scott Arniel, the lineup, waiting to see if Luke Schen's going to play tonight. He missed last game, and the third pairing was a little sketchy, shall we say, with Hayden Fleury and Logan Stanley playing together on that third pair. So we'll have a prayer circle for Luke Schenn for the first hour, and then hopefully find out some good news from Scott Arniel.
Beautiful. I can't believe Remo's getting after it a bit on a bachelor party, hey?
Yeah, him and his buddies, like, he never gets, the guy barely goes out.
I was going to say, he usually keeps it pretty under wraps, right?
Yeah, but, and I think that's why these guys, when they're going to do these events, they get the hell out of town.
Yeah.
If anyone's out at Big White this weekend in Kelowna, keep your eyes out for the Remus Wrecking Crew and the rest of his.
He'll be doing marble races in the corner of the chalet. Make it work. That'll be good.
Large wagering on the marble races, live marble races going on.
WST coming up right away here at high noon Edmonton time. We have two guys in goalie with myself, Cass and Gager, locked and lows. We'll continue to get you ready for the Oilers and the San Jose Sharks tonight. Thank you very much for joining us on the Lock Shop today. Best of luck if you're riding with us tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Screw the Hawks.